Okay, guys, this is Moshe in Israel and the Galilee with the evening war report. I'd like to start off with my wife spotted the new moon tonight from the Galilee in Israel, so we're in the 12th month of the year. It was a very tough spotting, but she got it. She got pictures of it, and so as of right this minute, we're in the 12th month. Okay, have you ever considered that Israel's adeptness in fighting wars is an end time sign? You should. And we're in the year of recompenses. Started on or around August 1st. So we haven't, we went 30 hours without a rocket from Gaza, which is a record since the war started. And it's a good record. Let's see. They say they damaged destroyed, about 700 missile launchers. See, it's the launcher that's the kingpin here, not the number of missiles. It's the launchers. The missiles are worthless without the launchers. They're still fighting in Gaza. Lebanon is still attacking the border with Israel, but in a mild way. What happened with the Houthis was as I predicted. They continued the attacks. They're investigating a report of an incident in the Red Sea, possibly two. All this is yet to be confirmed because it's very, very recent news. They call it breaking news, but I'm quite sure. And now we're getting unconfirmed reports that America has done a second attack on the Houthis, but the details have yet to be forthcoming. So the Americans in the UK said, "Well, if you keep it up, if you don't keep it up, it's over. If you keep it up, we'll keep attacking," and they kept it up. And they're not going to stop. Okay, a big ground invasion with lots of destruction and civilian casualties and death will, on the Houthi side mostly, will stop it. But look how long it took Israel to stop Hamas and Hezbollah, not Hezbollah, the Houthis with the Yemen regular army are 4 times larger than Hamas. Gaza has a population of 2.5 million. Yemen, I believe, is 40 million. So the scope of this is much larger, probably 3 times larger than what, or 4 times larger than what we were dealing with in Gaza. So it'll be an ugly thing. The International Criminal Court, ICJ, has finished hearing the arguments and they're going to vote in the next few days. Of course, it's a joke, and I imagine they'll rule against us, but we'll have to see. Maybe not. South Africa to file the claim removed some guy from, I believe it was a soccer team, for being Jewish. So, I mean, that's, 1939 Hitler. The world is rapidly turning against Israel and will continue to do so, and it will increase more and more. South African Jews should do well to plan on getting out of there, coming to Israel, but nobody really wants to come to Israel these days. It's the safest place for believers, but it certainly doesn't look that way to the non-believer. I'm thinking. So this Houthi thing is just due for steady, fast escalation. Okay? That's all this is going to produce. And they've probably stopped 100% of the ships from passing through the Red Sea by now, or 99%. I mean, Russia or maybe China runs a couple of ships through there or something like that. But that's probably about it. I don't think it's 100%, but it's practically 100%. else? Other than that, it's nice. We don't get the red alerts from Hamas very much. There's rumors of new peace negotiations for the hostages, ceasefires, whatever, but so far nothing realistic. Qatar negotiated humanitarian aid for the hostages in the form of medicines, and they should be delivered in the coming days, unless Hamas stops them, which is a possibility that Hamas, at least a 50% chance they won't let it get delivered, probably 90%. The people in Gaza are attacking the humanitarian trucks to get the supplies off of there before Hamas, impounds them for themselves, and then takes a certain amount of them and puts them in the stores to be sold to the Gazan populace at very high prices. They ran a poll in Israel, and Benny Gantz can mop the floor with Netanyahu if they call for new elections, a vote of no confidence. And I believe that's definitely coming around. I don't think Blinken is talking too much about what's going on with the Houthis. Blinken is sure a miserable performer. He's not getting anything done. Palestinian Authority has no interest in managing Gaza. Israelis are saying we're going to be in Gaza for years, and there's a butting of heads with Biden and Israel, and it seems to be increasing. And I expect Biden probably thinks if Gantz gets in, it might improve, but I don't know. I don't expect much out of Gantz. He may accelerate the war in Gaza and clean it up quicker, and he might, I don't know what they're going to do with the populace of Gaza. Nobody's talking about that. And he will probably take a very strong hand to Hezbollah and, tell him there's a new sheriff in town. Here's your deadline. One more rocket or missile comes into Israel, we're going to bomb you into the dark ages. And that's basically what he's going to say. Gallant may be capable. He's the Minister of Defense, but he's all, tied up with Netanyahu's secret agendas and political problems with him trying to stay out of jail. At least with Gantz, he's not trying to stay out of jail. But an S-bot is still an S-bot, so don't expect much. But he may try to wrap the wars up, but they're not going to wrap up. According to Bible prophecy, it's not going to wrap up. And you're seeing the escalation. And it's going to get worse and worse. China and Russia are watching very carefully what America does, and they know that America cannot handle a three-front war. What is a three-front war for America? I'll explain. In the Pacific, in the Pacific, Taiwan. China could attack Taiwan easily. Japan would join in. China would attack Japan. North Korea would attack South Korea and Japan. Philippines and Guam are kind of side issues. Australia will go over there and do nothing. America does not have enough military forces there at the present to handle China and North Korea. And Russia cranks up in Europe. Hitting the targets would be Poland, Latvia, Lithuania, Sweden, Denmark, Norway, Belarus would join in, and possibly other countries that are friends with Russia. And the United States doesn't have the military might to protect their own country and fight in Europe, the Middle East, and the Pacific. They can't make it. And China and Russia know this, but that's the snare. That's another argument, another story. I've covered that on many broadcasts. So, expect more escalation, and you won't be disappointed in the Middle East. Iran will start making more and more moves in the Indian Ocean, Sea of Oman, Persian Gulf, capturing ships and sinking and damaging ships and interfering with commerce. And Iran has their sights on closing the Mediterranean at the Straits of Gibraltar through Morocco with the help of Algiers, I believe. And as of a week or so ago, they put IRGC troops in Morocco to accelerate this and get ready for it. It's a very narrow pincher point that the ships from the Atlantic going into the Mediterranean have to go through, and it's very easy to close it. Morocco is right there. Right there. So that'll stop shipping in the Mediterranean. They got the Red Sea shut, and then they shut the Persian Gulf. The Houthis are likely to hit Bahrain and Saudi Arabia next if they're going to expand. They'll hit the oil fields and the refineries in Saudi Arabia, and oil prices will spike. Several hours ago, gold was at $2,045. Every time you get to another $100, you hit a resistance level or resistance point with gold prices. So it'll creep up to 2,100 and then go back down and then go up and then 22, 23. The big resistance point coming up is 2,500 and then 3,000. As troubles increase, it will get there, I believe. Silver's not really moving, and that's a smart money buy, because when gold goes through the roof, a lot of people are going to want to get into it, and they're not going to be comfortable buying, if gold's, let's say, 2,500, 2 ounces of gold is $5,000, where they can buy, 1 ounce gold rounds or bars for, maybe it'll go from $23, $24 to $50 or $75. It's something that the smaller people will go into. Now, when you go into a store in America and you want to buy gold, the price is going to be about roughly $30 more than what the trading price is. So if it's $2,045, it's probably going to be $2,075 to $2,085 and that type of thing. So if you want to buy what they call paper gold, which is backed by nothing, it's $2,045. But if you want to take physical possession of gold, which is the only way to do it in these trying times, is going to cost you more. That's basically it. Biden's keeping the border open and refuses to shut that down, which is going to breed, revolution in America ultimately, and he knows that, and that's his goal. And it's going to be, in the scriptures in Jeremiah 50:51, it's ruler against ruler. And Texas is already against Biden over the border, and more will join them as this crisis gets worse and worse, and they keep shipping illegals all over the United States and this type of thing. It's, you're there. Anti-Semitism is so insanely high right now. Turkey is, actively trying to kill the Kurds, as in genocide, and they accuse Israel of genocide. South Africa is, I mean, they're capable of attempting to conduct a Holocaust against the Jews the way they're running. I mean, it's not yet there. And they also pick on the white farmers. And they criticize Israel. Russia and China criticize Israel. You know, it's a joke. Come on. It's nonsense. It's complete nonsense. They're just trying to work with Satan and get rid of Israel because that's the most feared part of geography that Satan has. Because he knows end times. So all I could tell you is we're there, you know. We're there. And that's what I got for now. So I send my Shabbat Shalom to all those who love Yeshua HaMashiach. And I'm out. Thank you.